And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Sport. And today, it's the Barnes, Tony, and Riley show. How you gentlemen doing today?
Doing great today, dude. Beautiful Monday out there. The fall weather is just in the air, Brian. I love it.
Absolutely. And a quick turnaround after the show at the Horseshoe last night. So we appreciate everyone who came out, everyone who commented and interacted. We had a great time as always. So we really enjoyed that. How's it going, Riley?
It's going good. Patriots game yesterday really did me dirty. Feel awful. But the Jets look pretty good, so I'm excited to see what you're going to say today.
I actually am really excited to talk about this. And today really is going to be a full force football show. We got Wild Card Series starting tomorrow, so we'll talk about that tomorrow. So let's just really dive right into it. The world of the National Football League.
He wants Jefferson, climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Justin Jefferson, the catch of his life.
Burrow fires, intercepted, picked off at a pick six. Minka Fitzpatrick, an absolute ball hawk.
Niners twist up front and get to Tagovailoa. Bosa again. Mahomes escaping on the move, stops, spins, flips it forward for the touchdown.
Stop it.
Aaron Jones. Oh, what a tackle. Quincy Williams with a pile driver.
Gotta go.
All right. So Sunday Night Football last night, we watched the first half with all of you guys.
Yeah, dude.
Was a close, contested game. Jets end up falling short, though, 23-20. And actually, before I forget here, we do have one comment to get started. Josh B, early and often.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. What up, great people? One half of one game will not have me believing in Zach. I never had any faith in him. Hashtag rep the company, hashtag rep DTV, and hashtag rep the sports.
Well, you lost your pick on it, dude. So
always appreciate Josh B tuning in. And honestly, a perfect segue there. Because, and I was talking about this last night. I could not agree with Josh B more. And I think getting excited about last night is kind of falling back into a trap and really setting your standards low. I don't think you get off the hook for losing a game and acting like there's a moral victory in the National Football League. There's no style points. Wins are wins, losses are losses. So despite there being some optimism, Zach had a couple good drives, at the end of the day, your season's on the line this week in Denver, and you lost another football game. And while he did make some good throws and arguably had the best game of his career, when they were driving with a chance to take the lead late in the fourth quarter, he fumbled a snap. And all this time that Zach Wilson has been in the league, I've spoken to the fact that simple things he has trouble doing. And here we are last night, a simple thing like fielding a snap. And I'm not going to say it was a perfect snap, but at the same time, it's a catchable snap. He doesn't do that. And the Chiefs, end up running out the clock and winning the game. So that's just kind of where I am. And I just agree with Josh B wholeheartedly. Because like I said, I don't think a loss deserves to be celebrated.
Well, obviously not, Brian. If you're asking me what my opinion is, dude, obviously.
Well, I was going to actually ask Riley. No, just.
So you can ask Riley if you want to.
No, I'm just messing with you.
Well, I would have to disagree with both you and Josh. I mean, yeah, obviously, I'm not saying that Zach Wilson is a great quarterback. Do I have incredible amounts of confidence in his play? No, not yet. I mean, he had one great game. What I would like to see, obviously him to string along some good starts consistently. That's obviously what makes a good quarterback or a good player in general. And yeah, they lost. I don't know. I find it a little tough to blame Zach Wilson for their loss. I mean, I think at the end of the day, like kind of what you were saying, like he didn't arguably have the best game of his career. He did have the best game of his career. He didn't have some good drives. He had a great game. Especially at a big moment like at home against the Chiefs. I mean, we don't have to go over, what we were talking about leading up to the game. Literally, like even yesterday. I mean, people were talking about the bartender 40-0 loss. Even I think you were like 35-7, whatever you said. Like obviously, people thought Jets had absolutely no shot, and Zach Wilson gave them a chance to win. And I mean, yeah, obviously that fumble off the snap is tough. You never want to see that. It is a simple thing that quarterbacks should, kind of be second nature for them at this point. But I mean, there are several different things you can go back to during that game. Mistakes that just missed field goals, stupid penalties that lost in the game. There was some, blown coverages on defense. Like it was a 3-point game. I mean, you can't just put it all on Zach Wilson and how they lost. And also you got to point out, I mean, even Patrick Mahomes fumbled a snap yesterday. And I'm sure Brian could say is arguably the best quarterback in the league. So it happens to everyone. I cannot say that Zach Wilson lost the Jets the game. He did the opposite. I think he gave them the best chance to win this game.
And yeah, I mean, I'll have more to speak to that. But before I say anything else, I just kind of like to bring in Riley here. What was your overall thoughts on the Jets, Zach Wilson, the game? I mean, what did you see out there?
I mean, I thought he played fantastic. I mean, like Tony said, I think he was the reason that game was close, especially some of the drives he made in the first half. Even when they went down, I feel like he stayed even keeled, and he was good yesterday. But what I think is he still struggled, and I understand why people still see the fumble and they're like, oh, he's the same guy. But, I mean, everyone fumbles snaps. Obviously, it was in the worst-case scenario. Kansas City goes down and basically takes the end of the game in one drive. That drive was insane at the end of the game. But I think he looked good, and he definitely bided himself more time. That's what he did. He's going to – like Denver's next week, you said that's a huge game for him. Mm-hmm. They should come out. If he plays the same way, they should almost blow Denver out if he plays the same way. So – he bought himself time. I liked how he played, definitely better than Mac Jones. And he ran a little bit. He did miss a throw in the end zone to Garrett Wilson, which I think would have changed a lot in the game. But he played great, in my opinion.
And, I guess the first thing overall here is, at the end of the day, we could say, he did some good things. We want to call it his career game. And Tony even, spoke to the fact, a couple of things. So spoke to the fact that, Mahomes fumbled something, whatever. But is it not a coincidence? Two things. Are they not coincidences? We're calling this his career game, right. But he lost the game. And then number two, is it a coincidence that, just in general, the Kansas City Chiefs win games and the New York Jets lose games?
Is it a coincidence?
Yeah, that we find ourselves in this situation and, we could try to talk up Zach all we want. But at the end of the day, we lost the game, and now our season's on the line next week.
Yeah. Well, you did play the best team in the league. The Jets are starting their backup quarterback. They have an offensive line that struggles to protect the quarterback. They have a defense that does struggle to make some tackles sometimes. I mean, I don't think these two teams are comparable. I mean, the fact that the Jets did keep it within 3 points and scored 20 on the Chiefs. I mean, that's a pretty big achievement, dude. I mean, yeah, like you don't like to lose games, but I mean, you did play the best team in the league, arguably. So
yeah, and I think what it is, and I'm really the only one that would have true perspective here, and maybe Michael too. But just being a big Jets fan my whole life, like we're so beaten down. There is no such thing as moral victories and getting excited about losses. Like that's not at the end of the day, like, oh, we competed with them. Great. But we've been waiting to win a long time. And it looks like we're going to have to wait yet another year to do that and continue the longest drought in the NFL in terms of without a playoff appearance. So that's at the end of the day, that is what it is. So
Right.
it's just,
I mean,
there's nothing for me to get excited about. That's just the way I look at it. I mean, we're going to celebrate Zach playing like he should have been playing for the last 3 years, like for one game that he lost. Like, I don't know. It's just hard to get excited about that.
So if Jets won, you would be excited about it?
Yeah. I mean, that's
know,
what the
man.
league, but that's what the league is. It's wins and losses. It's not moral victories, that they don't do anything for you.
Right. I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, I wouldn't say the season's over necessarily. I mean, if the Jets continue to play like this, like they're gonna start winning games. Like starting next week, if they play like they did last night, they're gonna be winning games. That was the first time that like both sides of the ball were playing right. I feel like the past 3-4 weeks, you saw either like the defense doing well, or maybe just the offense doing well, or neither. So I mean, this is kind of the first game where you saw your team playing well on both sides of the ball. Defense forced turnovers too, like for the first time since week 1. I don't know. I still think there's a lot of good to look at, and I mean, again, from my perspective, I mean, your season is not over. I mean, you can win games and make the playoffs.
I mean, just running down, I mean, you're 1-3 right now. Let's assume they beat Broncos next week, a road game in Denver, not easy by any means. But let's say we're 2-3. We've never beaten the Eagles. I'm going to chalk that one up as a loss. That's 2-4. Let's say optimistically we beat the Giants. We know they have a lot of problems on their ends. I think our defense is a lot better. So let's give us the edge there. 3-4. Home to the Chargers. I don't think, we have enough offense there. So let's say 3-5. Raiders, let's say we beat them 4-5. At Bills, 4-6. Home to Dolphins, 4-7. Beat Falcons, 5-7. Beat Texans, 6-7. Lose to Dolphins, 6-8. Beat Commanders, 7-8, and then lose to Browns last week of the season, 8-9. And that's like giving the Jets a couple wins where we can't assume, they're going to beat the Commanders and the Texans and the Falcons. I think that's best case scenario.
I don't know, man. I mean, I think that's kind of rough. And then to assume they're not, again, if they're playing like they did last night, I mean, you're talking about them being competitive with the Dolphins, being competitive with the Browns, with the Bills, like with the Eagles even too. I mean, we saw the Eagles almost lose this weekend. They didn't really play some great football. We saw Tua get into some trouble with turning the ball over this weekend too against the Bills. By the way, Bills team that, they look a lot different than week 1, but the Jets still beat them. Zach Wilson beat the Bills in week 1. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I think obviously it's hard to assume anything at this point. But I don't know, dude, if they're playing like they did yesterday.
Wait, why are you cracking up though? I'm just wondering.
Because like going through the schedule, you're just like assuming wins and losses. I mean, I don't know, man. I think
I'm saying that's right,
that's
what's
how
on
you
the
feel.
table.
Yeah, no,
that's who they're playing.
Right.
I mean,
it is who they're. But again, like I mean, if they play like if they continue to play like they did yesterday, if they have those games like they did yesterday, I mean, like I said, they're going to be competitive against the Dolphins. They could win against the Dolphins. And you're over there smiling like Dolphins kind of blew it yesterday, dude.
right, but I think there's a difference between playing the Jets and playing the Bills in Orchard Park.
Right. I mean, obviously, home field advantage takes. We talked about it yesterday, but I mean, again, I think on paper the Jets are supposed to have a better defense than the Bills. No.
Yeah, but what about their offense? You know what I mean? I think.
How many points did the Dolphins score yesterday? 20? 17?
Yeah, I mean, how many times did the Jets score 20? Twice out of.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if the Bills can hold the Dolphins to 17 to 20 points, like, theoretically, like, shouldn't the Jets be able to do that?
My problem is here. Like I said, I've been a Jets fan my whole life, and I just want to break the cycle of mediocrity. And I just don't think, it's going to happen doing it this way. I think there's a reason that we're in the situation that we are. And, we could talk about things that we thought were positive or should have went our way. But at the end of the day, the Robert Saleh, Zach Wilson era, is 12-26. And I guess it's like, I'm just very guarded here where I don't want to put any belief in this, anymore. And I don't want to be fooled. And I think, for everybody just to say Zach's back, after last night.
I don't think anyone is really saying that, Brian. Though.
Well, we know one person.
I think. I still think people are super critical. Just hearing Greeny a little bit, listening to Dave and Rick, even people on Twitter, people are still super critical of Zach. And of course, like you mentioned, everyone remembers the fumble off the snap from last night. But I don't know, dude. Obviously, I really haven't been a Jets fan very long, but as far as I was concerned, the season was over 4 snaps in. So, I think at this point, why not try and take a flyer on Zach Wilson?
But you know what I would compare it to, Tony? Because I think the Mets and the Jets are very similar franchises. And,
right.
Mets, I guess actually it's really close because that run in 2015 was really the only recent thing they had. Jets, obviously 9 and 10. But it's like next season, okay, for you, the Mets, let's say, terrible start, under 500 at the All-Star break, but best record in the league last 2 months of the season, missed the playoffs. It's like, that's not going to do anything for you. You're tired of waiting. You want to win right now, and little things and losses aren't going to get you excited. Like your patience is done.
Right.
I'm saying that's the Jets fan. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Same exact thing.
No, yeah. And I understand that, dude.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's, I don't know. Baseball is a different sport. I think it's kind of tough to compare the two. But again, I feel like the Jets season was over. Like, 10 minutes into your season, like, it was over, dude. Like, losing Aaron Rodgers for the whole year, like, that's obviously like not really what you guys needed. But I think at this point, like,
no, it was a match made in heaven. That's what we needed. Zach Wilson, baby. Zach Wilson. That's what we needed.
One thing you can really like try and hang your hat on is the fact that Rodgers is talking about coming back for playoffs.
But what playoffs though?
Well, I'm saying like Zach Wilson literally is your best shot, dude. I'm telling you, there's no one else who's going to be.
He keeps up that play.
I
really, I don't want to hear about any fucking third string quarterback you bring in who hasn't played in a year. I don't want to hear about Nick Foles. I just think, honestly, anyone you bring in is going to be either equal or worse than what you have now.
Well, at this point, being 1-3 and the schedule coming up, I would prefer to just lose every game and get like the best draft pick possible. Honestly, like, I'm done with the back.
I think that's terrible if you start losing every game, because I think that's going to cause such a rift in the locker room. Players are going to be tight.
Players aren't already tight, though?
Exactly. Players are already tight. But I'm telling you, like, yesterday, they seemed pretty fucking into it, dude. The fans seemed into it. Their sideline was good, dude. Their chemistry was working well. And I don't know, everyone made mistakes. Everyone picked each other up. That was a kind of a good look for a team right there.
Got some comments here.
Yeah, let's catch up on the comments.
Matt saying, Wilson shocked me last night. Honestly pumped. So he's standing on the ground that he loves Wilson right now.
Wow, loves.
Hope this is just the beginning of the Zach Wilson era.
It's the beginning.
Lonnie coming in. Good morning, gentlemen. That was a good game last night. Zach had a solid game. Just a fumble was fucking killer. So now Tony is a Jet fan. He made it official. Good for you, Flake.
Dude, like,
Yanni, early and often there.
Like, we went over this like a month before the season, bro. Okay, take it easy, Lonnie.
Matt comes back and saying, yeah, just adjust the offense to his skill set, and if he can play like last night the rest of the way, I'll take it. Josh B follows that up with, stop it, Matthew. Zach Stiggs.
Josh B, man, every day bringing it, knowing what he's talking about.
Matt Rogers comes back next year and the year after. We'll go back to back, Shipped and the Wilson.
Oh, I thought we weren't allowed to say that.
Oh,
I thought, because remember, I caused the Rodgers
you're the
Achilles
mush,
injury.
Dude.
Yeah, it was all my fault.
Yeah.
And then I think it means after that, Wilson takes down and picks up where Rodgers left off. And then Lonnie comes back in with a, oh yeah, let's go. Hashtag Giants, the team Tony used to root for. What a hack.
Tony's a little tight today, I think.
It's Monday, dude.
Josh B, that was the plan. Why are they throwing him out there now? Lonnie, what's up, my guy?
Hashtag swag.
Hashtag swag. Tony, your mom?
Hi, Mom.
I think they would have won if not for that bad call. Just supporting his dad. Was an awful call. That call was
my dad's
awful.
Jets fan. Awful call. What did my mother say? We are Giants fans always, she
You have some
says.
Giants in you still.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I know Lonnie's like throwing a lot of scuds out here, but I really didn't honestly follow football like the past, I want to say, like 8 years. So what do you want from me, Lonnie? All right.
Now he's locked in.
Yeah, I've been locked in since last year. Because of the show, honestly. You got to be locked in.
And a
dude.
Zach Wilson fan.
Yeah, obviously. And Zach Wilson. So, yeah, man.
There's a couple more here.
Oh, yeah, Barnes. You can't say that because you are the mush, dude.
Wow.
The doofus himself. Yeah, I mean, I think we've talked all we could talk about there'd be no such thing as superstitions and curses. So I mean, I kind of am all set talking about that because I think we all know what the answer is.
But if he plays like he did last night,
right,
that means they play the best team in the league. Every game you will have a shot to win.
See, I think what really happened when I think about it, and I was listening to the radio broadcast on the way home, and they pointed this out. Second half, they kind of changed the defensive strategy, which I don't know why. Obviously, it worked to the Jets' favor, but they stopped bringing the heat so much. And I think that's what caused, because he had just a little more time to make throws, and that's why he was able to complete passes. Hard time thinking though, moving forward, where it's just a constant pressure, constant blitzing. I think you're going to see more of what we saw already. And yes,
it's not like he had a terrible first half though. Like,
I mean,
he had a great first half.
I mean, he had a great one touchdown drive, because they didn't get the one to Conklin there, so they scored a field goal,
because Conklin
safety,
dropped it, right? Because Conklin dropped it in the end zone.
It was a bad throw.
He had two hands on it, Brian. We went over this last night.
It wasn't in the perfect spot.
On it. No, it's not the perfect spot. You have two hands on it though. That is the perfect spot.
He's on the run.
That's the quarterback's job, dude. He avoided the sack quite emphatically. Like, it was pretty dramatic, dude. And he threw it to Conklin. Conklin had two hands on it and couldn't bring it in.
Yeah, because it wasn't placed in the right spot. That's why he didn't bring it in. If it was right in his chest, I mean, it's touchdown.
Yeah, sure, absolutely, dude.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, if it's right in my chest, I can catch it every time too, dude. Why is this guy professional tight end?
I didn't say that.
I'm saying it. I'm saying it, dude. All right, the guy had two hands on it and could not bring it in. And that is the receiver's fault, not Zach Wilson's.
So anyway,
ridiculous. Because you tell me that the defensive scheme was changed in the second half. That's why Zach Wilson had a good game. That's ridiculous.
He's terrible.
That's so
against
outrageous.
They didn't blitz as much. It's a fact, though.
But the first half they did, dude. The first half they did.
Yeah, and he had one touchdown drive.
Okay. But he still had a great game. He had a great first half. Like, he kept them in the game. It was like 12-17 or 12, whatever the fuck the score was. Like, it wasn't a blowout. Like, he had a great first half, dude.
I mean, they were trailing at the end of the first half.
That's correct.
And they were trailing at the end of the game when they lost. I don't know. I just personally, what I was going to say is, yes, if he made throws like he did last night, they would have a shot in any game. Unfortunately, I think this week in Denver, it's just going to revert back to what we saw in the previous couple games. To be honest, because he hasn't done it. He's never done it before. So to think that he's going to go on the road, the altitude, Denver, a desperate team, needing to save their season as well. Hard for me to think that they're going to win that one. If they do, I mean, sure, it's a different conversation, but I don't think that anything has been proven here at all.
No, nothing's been proven. You want to get to the comments?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Oh, Matt, just messing with you, Brian. That's it.
Look what Lonnie says up there, though.
Where?
Above. Double B equals.
Double B equals mush master flex.
Well, he said he's messing, so I don't need to talk more about that.
Lonnie thought that should have been a catch too.
Yeah. All right. And if Lonnie thinks so.
Yeah, Lonnie said it should have been a catch, meaning that he should have thrown a better ball.
No, that's not what he means.
But also, I mean, Tyler Conklin sucks anyway.
Yeah.
Like, let's get a real tight end, no?
Yeah, honestly, what the hell, dude? I feel like they could do a better job with getting Uzoma or whatever.
Yeah, he had the
Like,
1
he
yard
had that one touchdown.
catch. Yes,
But I mean, I feel like Jets aren't really using their tight ends.
they don't.
At
They
all,
never do.
really.
They literally never. I mean, the last
deal
one
with
that
that,
they
dude?
somewhat utilized was Kellen Winslow.
Why? What's the deal with that?
I don't know. I mean, I guess to be honest, the real thing is they don't usually pass for enough yards to throw to anybody to a significant amount.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
you even go back to like when they were in the AFC Championship, they were still near the bottom of the league in passing yards. Nothing's changed there. And now the only difference is they can't run the ball either. I mean, Breece Hall, yes, the one run.
Mhm.
Dalvin Cook, I mean, hate to say it, but I almost think he might get released at some point this year.
You think so?
I mean, how bad does he look? I think I could beat him in a race, honestly. I really do. I mean, doesn't he look slow, though?
He looks bad. Same thing with, I think both of the guys that got signed, Zeke and him, both they're not their old
At least
selves.
Zeke, though, yesterday wasn't good, but like I'm saying, the previous game,
Yeah,
at
it
least he
was
did
really
that.
good.
Look at Dalvin Cook. He's averaging under
Yeah.
2.5 yards per carry.
Yeah, and I also think
That's tough, dude.
Brees is special, and I think he just needs the ball more and more and
But
more.
he needs
Yeah.
better
He
blocking.
does. I mean,
Better
that's
blocking
O-line.
for
The
sure,
O-line is not
dude.
great. Like, what are you gonna do? But talent-wise, Brees should be getting the ball more and
Mhm.
more and more. He had a couple good runs last night. I show you what guy I like watching last night. The guy had the punt return the first week, Gibson. He had a jet
Gibson,
sweep
yeah.
yesterday that he ran for like 20 yards. He's a talent. I like that kid.
Yeah. No,
Brees
absolutely.
only had 6 carries last night.
And really all that
That's
yardage
crazy.
was on one run.
Yeah.
And
crazy.
I think what they should try too, because like obviously, I mean, you're really not going to be able to bring in anybody of consequence on the offensive line this year. Is to go extra protection, double tights, and try to get some burst.
Yeah.
But I mean, is there any world that we live in where Dalvin Cook isn't finished though?
I mean, probably not, honestly. I mean, just looking at him, 5 touches for 16 yards. I mean, I guess he was like good on converting a couple of third downs,
Yeah.
but I mean, other than that, dude, I guess he's also good, apparently, like blocking. I like when he's in the backfield with Wilson, when Wilson's in the gun, because it looks like, I saw Cook have a couple of chop blocks that were nice. And he needs protection, that's
Yeah.
for sure, dude. Like,
I just, you know what it is? It's the expectations were high because he's been a perennial Pro Bowl running back.
yeah.
And then he comes to us, and I hate to say it, but it like reminds me of Le'Veon Bell coming to the Jets, where
That's
he just
tough, dude.
there was nothing. There's no burst, there's no pop.
Do you think if the Jets start utilizing their run game more, where they're kind of working both Hall and Cook in and out together, obviously using Hall more, I mean, you think you can get any momentum with that, or you think it's just absolutely?
It doesn't seem like they can run block, honestly, though.
It's so bad.
Like I really don't think they can. And it's interesting. And I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but let's just say hypothetically, this is worse than what I just laid out, and it's, I don't know, a 5 or 6 win season. So you're looking at it yet another top 10 draft pick. Do they use that on an offensive lineman 100%, or does it depend if there's a quarterback there, potentially a game-changing tight end, or is it like you have to just go for the offensive line?
I mean, look, man. I mean, again, I know Rodgers didn't play a lot of snaps, but those first 4 plays, I mean, he was under pressure like every play. So I mean, it's like,
I mean, I guess you could sign people. It just depends what's out there.
I know.
Well, it's also
no, go ahead.
like, is Rodgers going to coming back for this next year or the year after? Because you shouldn't draft a quarterback if he's going to come
Definitely
Yeah,
back.
like
be
Caleb
tough for
Williams
quarterback,
is gonna be like, I'm not playing. If they got the number 1 pick and they're like, yeah, we're gonna stay for 2 years, he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna go
No.
there. I'm
No,
gonna stay in college. He can stay in college.
He said that.
Yeah.
Said that. He's
Yeah.
joining somewhere to play right away. So yeah, I think he's on the line.
So that's tough. So I guess you would go line, but maybe also if there's a hybrid tight end available, I mean, that would be
That would be
nice.
sick too, dude.
Because I think receiver, there's enough there. You saw Lazard make a couple catches last night.
But I mean,
I really like him.
Defense is there.
But then
Yeah.
again, no Hardman. The speed. Oh my God! Like, what are we thinking?
I don't know what's the deal with that.
And they did do some more motion last night that we hadn't seen
Yeah.
before with Garrett Wilson and stuff. But can we get the Hardman jet sweep?
Yeah,
I mean,
a lot of play action too last night. That was good.
I think he's going to get released too because there's got to be something
Wrong,
there,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
And if he does get released, a team to watch out for, I think, is Kansas City. Him going back there because he knows the offense and they could use some more playmakers as well.
That's ridiculous.
Let's catch up on the comments.
They couldn't use some more playmakers actually.
We got Lonnie coming in
I
here.
feel like the receivers suck.
Barnes must be
Yeah.
the greatest athlete to never be because this mofo complains about everyone. Now Charles Barkley can outrun a football player. Yeah, okay. Chill out, mushy.
Wow. dude.
I don't see. I don't agree with that. I don't know who am I complaining about?
What's the Charles Barkley thing about?
I don't know. That's
I don't know because he raced Dick Bavetta way back when.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know there. And then
Coming in hot.
Barnes
Lonnie.
says O-line with the pick for sure. Barnes, I would agree there.
Yes,
I think that's where you
Matthew.
got to go.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, all of that is a while away, and we're dealing with this season, right now. But I don't know. I mean, you guys kind of know, I just said how I feel. You think that there's actually you feel pretty good about the Jets beating the Broncos this week?
Dude, come on. I mean, I've been pretty hard on Sean Payton and Russell Wilson for a little bit now. So, yeah, absolutely. Totally expect that. I think that Sean Payton's got a huge mouth on him. Talk about complaining about everything. I mean, Jesus. He's been complaining about the Broncos organization, and it's come out to an absolute terrible start to the season. Russ still has some athleticism, within himself for sure. He obviously can throw the ball. We saw this weekend that he could score. But again, I mean, if the Jets come out anyway like they did this weekend, I mean, I think it's going to be a surefire blowout for the Jets.
What about you, Riley?
Yeah, I think I agree with Tony. The same thing. Funniest thing, Sean Payton was like, this organization's run awfully. I know it was like a shit show last year, and then he's 0-4 right now. So I don't
1-3, but still, good Bears, 0-4.
They won that game.
Yeah.
Oh my god, because I just saw Justin Fields like blow up, and they were up by a bunch. But yeah, they came back and won that game.
Yeah.
But I think you go and beat them, especially if he plays the same way. He's not the biggest thing with Zach is not turning the ball over. He had the fumble, but he didn't throw any stupid interceptions, which didn't let Kansas City keep building on points and building on points. He kind of just moved him down the field. The worst case scenario, they were punting. I think if he holds on to the ball, they don't turn the ball over. You can beat them. You can stay in with any team because the defense is good. You have weapons and you get the ball in their hands. Good things can happen. So I think you guys blow them out next week.
I mean, that would be nice if they were able to do that for sure. Your mother, with a little scud here, saying that we're skipping comments. And one in particular that I think we should start with is Josh B saying, Tony, double B, and I have lived this nightmare for a long time. You just joined this disaster. I used to sound just like you.
Wow, dude. Well, averages?
No, but I mean, seriously though, I mean, what are your thoughts there? I mean, the suffering we've had to go through over the years.
No, I mean, I get it. Jets have been through a lot, and obviously, Josh has been a Jets fan. He's been alive longer than I. He's been a Jets fan longer than us. So I understand, like, again, where he's coming from, in a sense where it's really hard to believe. But again, I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, your season is also your season's over already. Like, it was.
I thought it wasn't though.
But it is, dude. It is. Like, it was again.
But why did you say it wasn't? You said,
I'm saying it's over because you're starting quarterback at a season-ending injury.
But I thought you said you think we could still make the playoffs.
Yeah, because it's like, why not believe in that?
I mean, for the Jets,
seeing what you just saw.
But I'm saying for the Jets, that would be a major accomplishment, making the playoffs. Like, they want to make the playoffs. They would prefer to make the playoffs. But you're saying it's over though, so it's like that you need a stepping stone somewhere. So if they were able to make the playoffs, that'd be outstanding.
Yes. What are you trying to say here?
I don't know. I just feel like
if they were to make the playoffs, that would be outstanding.
I guess it's like you're kind of saying both things. So it's like, is the season over, or you think like they're in a good spot to make the playoffs?
They're not in a good spot to make the playoffs because they're.
So you're not expecting them to make the playoffs?
No.
Oh, okay, because it sounded like before you were saying.
I'm saying they can. I'm saying if Zach Wilson continues to play like this, strings along, consistent
playoff percentage,
like right now, 20%.
Riley?
25.
25?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 0.025.
Yeah. But again, like, you got to admit, like, you're like Rodgers going down, like that is literally like a season-ending injury for him and your team, dude. Like you built this entire year around Aaron Rodgers,
right?
So again, obviously, like, your season's over. In terms of as far as I was concerned, I was like, that sucks. Like, the season's gonna be over. If they go out and get a better quarterback or a good quarterback, still not gonna be an Aaron Rodgers. Like, Aaron Rodgers is arguably, like, top 5, possibly top 3 quarterback in the league. Like, you're not gonna be able to replace him. So it's like, at this point, why not try and put your belief in what you have right now? Like, who cares if you guys end up losing? The Jets were out, dude.
Let's catch up on the comments.
We got a lot of comments
Yeah,
to catch up on.
One
here.
second.
Lonnie saying, "No, sir, you are Charles Barkley from the basketball courts. You backing down Tony in the paint. Excuse me,
You all right, dude?
I feel. I don't
Want
know
some
what's
water?
going on. No,
Get choked up about Zach
I'm
Wilson.
getting choked up. I'm getting choked up because I skipped comment.
Yeah, you skip comment. You got
Yeah.
you can't skip comment.
Yeah.
People complain about
There's
that.
a lot coming in.
I
right
know
now.
you gotta hit every single one. How do I remember all this crap and y'all don't? Well, we just know what you were saying, Lonnie. And then what else we got up next?
Tell them, don't be skipping your scuds.
Yeah, scuds is like
Yeah.
an insult or
Yeah.
a joke. Yeah, and then my mother says, "Who is your young boy on the mic?" Well, my young boy over here on the mic, Mom, is our new intern Riley, shoe student, senior. Taught him last semester. So far, great guy.
Shouldn't he be in school? I don't have class today.
College,
Off of class. By the way, Riley's team stinks. They do. Nothing
They
against
do.
They suck. We're gonna tank for Caleb Williams. Hope we lose every game on the way out.
It's awesome.
And the Jets lose them again. That's yeah. I mean, that's true.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
true.
very true.
They will, dude.
Yeah.
It's just like the Giants to win in Dallas.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
Whoa, actually, we need to go. I don't know. Did we get to Matthew?
Yeah. We're
Yeah.
going down the list
Yeah,
one at a
we are-
time.
we
here.
are-
Okay,
working
no, because
down.
I'm
We are
ready. I'm
working
amped.
down.
I'm
Josh
jacked.
B,
Like I feel like Dan
ancient.
Campbell after his morning coffee. But let's catch up first before I go off.
She's
You got your dolphin?
Go off.
Oh,
Jay, coming in. Make
up your mind, Tony.
50-50.
50-50, Jay Bird says for the playoffs. That's awesome.
Wait a minute. This is getting interesting.
Continue.
Minus
99.9% for Josh B.
Jesus,
Barnes, you're all over, dude. He goes, ha, 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 ha.
Just try
And make the playoffs. Josh B, early and often.
Okay, so Tony may be all over the map, but honestly, as it comes to me, I'm not all over the map. I'm saying
But Matthew just said that Jesus Barnes are all over.
right. But I'm saying the reason it sounded like that is because I just said initially, I think we're looking at 4 or 5 wins. Optimistically would be 8, but I don't see that happening. And I think for next year, what would benefit us the most would be the highest draft pick possible. What I also said, though, if it actually was hypothetically possible to make the playoffs, that would be great just because of how long it's been since we've made the playoffs. And clearly, if we made the playoffs, Zach Wilson would be completely different than what he is right now. I'm just saying that's not happening. I'm saying it would be great for the franchise to make the playoffs, but that's not happening. So I still am full board. Let's get the number 1 pick, 100%.
So you want to lose?
I think that's going to benefit us more, and because I just don't think
Losing.
No, because we're not going to even be close to making the playoffs. So I would rather win 1 game than win 7 and finish 2 back of the wild card.
I mean, I hope the Patriots tank, so I agree with you in that aspect. But I just think like your offense is good, and if like I said, if he plays this way, you have a chance.
But and then also though, like guys were saying 20 to 25%. So really, I mean, that's not a very good, playoff chance. And thinking about it, in the conference, you have 3 wild cards. So you would think, occupying those spots. I mean, I would say the Chargers, should definitely be one of those. We know the AFC East will have at least one of them, so that's 2 spots. And then I would think the AFC North would have one of them as well. So I just don't think there's enough playoff spots available. I don't think Cleveland, and I know they looked terrible yesterday, but even Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, I just all those teams, I think have the upper hand. So I just think it's nearly impossible for the Jets to make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's definitely an uphill climb, but
let's catch up on the comments more.
What I'm saying, it was a very close game. Anything could have happened.
Anything could happen.
Anything could have happened. How about winning in Denver first, says Lonnie.
Good point.
And Jay, why are you gaslighting your audience? The side of gray is showing Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, dude.
Wait, what is he talking about?
Taylor Swift distracting the umps. I agree. That was awful last night, Taylor Swift.
The umps.
They just
Yeah, we were talking about that. But what does Lonnie mean?
that side of gray is showing Mr. Fantastic.
Wait, I'm guessing he's talking about me, but I still just don't get it.
Gray hairs.
But what does he mean, Mr. Fantastic, though?
Mr. Fantastic is the guy from Fantastic Four.
Again, the movie reference.
Yeah, he intentionally has like a gray hair on the sides here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Jay. Where's your Yankee
Where's your Yankee delusion?
Well, the Yankees have Aaron Judge and the Jets have Zach Wilson, so that's the difference.
And then how about
The Giants. My mother wants
big
to know.
game tonight for them.
It's a huge game,
Big
must-win game.
Must win.
Yeah,
That's
no,
for
we're
sure,
gonna
dude.
we're
They
gonna
can't
talk
lose or
about
must win.
that
Yeah.
in a second. But yeah, they're in a similar spot where needing to win, needing to save the season. That's for sure. But yeah, I mean, I just think overall here, you definitely competed, but again, loss is a loss. And then one other thing that I think is not being talked about is how poorly the defense played the run, and specifically played Patrick Mahomes running the ball at the end of the game.
Mhm.
After he does it once, how do you let him do it 2 more times? He was constantly running to pick up first downs on
Yeah.
third down. I mean,
You gotta
what's the answer there?
I mean, you gotta have some type of QB spy, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you gotta have someone who's on Mahomes.
So, I mean, is that on Olbrich?
Yeah. It's on your defense. It's on
Yeah.
who's calling the defense.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I kind of think if you had a spy, you might have won the game. It seemed like you were covering
Yeah,
well,
dude.
rushing him well.
yeah.
But also Pacheco was just able to run for whatever he needed
Yeah.
to either.
Yeah, because he was just elusive enough, I guess, and then I guess the Chiefs offensive line were able to make holes.
But
But I mean, you can really boil it down to that last drive. I mean, Mahomes should not have been able to run.
and am I mistaken? Was it 3rd and
23.
23?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
We have to play up if you want to watch it.
yeah. Let's bring it up. I mean, and it's not like he's as fast as Daniel Jones, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
And just go over the YouTube tab and play it. Yeah, dude. And so he is, dude. First of all, having time. This is the big holding. This is the holding. The holding, and then now he's just running.
He's
and it's
wide
just
open.
Wide open, dude.
Well, I think they were very scared about him making a play down the field.
Yeah, he does
So-
that a lot. And then this is the next play. That was called back 3rd and 20,
And then
and then it
there's
was
the-
this with the whole defensive holding call,
Awful call.
which was also an awful call. They
Did
called
they-
it on
did
Carter, didn't they?
But I thought there was a call on Sauce.
this was, I think this was the whole.
This was the holding on Sauce.
yeah, the defensive-
Carter intercepted it,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it was a pick.
Okay. But let's see. I just want to see if they do a close up of the. Okay, let's see.
He kind of did right
there,
here.
they called it.
Yeah, I mean that's a penalty. He held him.
It is.
So why is everybody saying it's a terrible call?
Who is?
Didn't you guys just
I
say
think
that?
it-
I said that's a
bad-
tough call.
I think it's a bad call.
I mean, there was holding there. I mean, again, I feel like refs do kind of pick and choose sometimes when and how much holding they allow.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know, it was just one of those. I think it was one of those plays in a big spot. It's an arguable.
I mean, that
holding
looked
call,
like me interviewing Rick at the tailgate, honestly.
Dude,
But also,
Rick was holding on to you. Dude.
what I don't like is where the flag comes in late. If you see the ref throw the flag,
Yeah.
holding happens here. Why doesn't he call it there? He calls that
After the
call
interception.
when you can see him throw the flag when the guy picks the ball off. So it's like, why wasn't that flag thrown when it happened?
That is a little weird, but at the same time, I think it would be different if he literally in the beginning when they kind of engage, but there's no hold, if they kind
Yeah.
of just touch
For
hands.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like
within
if
the first,
that was
5
the
yards,
holding
yeah.
penalty,
Yeah.
then that's egregious.
Yeah.
But the fact that he went Rick neck
Yeah, yeah.
grab, I don't know if we
Yeah,
can
no,
we can let him off the
I
hook.
also
Yeah.
think too, I think a lot of times refs will maybe let it go, but then the fact that there was an interception, maybe it's all right,
Impacts the play.
I should probably fucking throw the flag because that was a holding call. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's tough that he should have thrown it immediately. Obviously, you want your refs to be confident and decisive in their calls. Just fucking stub my toe.
Let's catch up on the comments here.
Jay says holding.
It was.
Which I mean, there's two. He's talking about the
Yeah, I think he's talking about the other.
Oh,
the other
yeah,
one.
the
Mahomes run.
Yeah.
Yes,
Dude,
That
yes.
was crazy.
That was
That was
brutal.
egregious.
Like he was getting fucking mugged out there. Dude.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
This one was still about that one. Jay said Josh B probably loved that call.
yeah.
Johnson Lilly gave up on the okay to show that he was getting held. The ref is a fucking hack.
Very true.
True. The refs, your mom, the refs
My mom, the refs.
on the
On the play, fixing. Yep. Yo, Rick with the grip. He was massaging your trapezius.
it wasn't holding. How's the collarbone big?
Still pretty loose. We're all right. Luckily, he didn't do too much structural damage. Oh man, that's funny stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think the whole thing is here, and I think there seems to be this narrative that I don't want what's best for the Jets.
Right.
And that couldn't be further from the truth.
Clip that
I
up.
want to watch.
Just clip that phrase up. I don't want what's best for the Jets.
I want to watch my team in every week be confident that they are better than their opponent and that they could beat anybody. And I want to watch a quarterback who makes all the throws. And it's like, I've been on this earth 31 years and counting, and I haven't got to see it one time. So I think, there's reason for me not wanting to say, oh, Zach, this isn't his fault. That's not his fault. I just want some guy that comes in there. There's no excuses. He wins and he gets the job done. And I don't have any more patience at this point. And I think it's fair to say we've given him a long time. It's not like this is his rookie season. So I don't like the thought that, let's say this season goes, AWOL like we expect. They don't make the playoffs, 5-6 wins. I don't want it to be the next couple of years we don't draft any quarterback, and that, we're going to plan on Rodgers for 2, Zach as the backup. I hate that thought process. And I feel like a night like last night sets us up to have Zach as the backup quarterback next year, which I think after this season would show to be a mistake. I don't think you can go into next season with Zach as your backup quarterback. I mean, literally, unless they make the playoffs with Zach this year, that would be the only way to change that narrative. I mean, because we saw how it impacted the year. We should have beaten the Patriots. So that's if we had a better backup quarterback, we beat the Patriots. And I think we might have been able to beat the Chiefs as well. And here we are 1-3.
I guess.
Josh B.
Josh B. Look at his attitude with the Yanks and the Jets. That says it all.
Wait, what do you think he means?
I don't know what he means.
Or maybe meaning that like the Yankees, like they'll always put themselves in a position where they have some semblance of chance, but the Jets, like we've seen what's happened over the last couple of years. Like it's like I've never got to see 1 ounce of greatness. And I can't imagine the feeling of like being a Chiefs fan, having Patrick Mahomes and knowing that like you've been set, you've won a couple Super Bowls, and then you have him for what? I mean, another 10 plus years?
10 years, yeah.
I mean, imagine if us Jets fans had that feeling right now, that you were set for the next 10 plus years and you had multiple Super Bowls in your pocket.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And what else we got here?
We got Lonnie coming in. Says he's been on there 31 years, haven't seen it yet. Matt and Tony, what does that tell you? Barnes has been a mush since birth.
Wow, dude.
But then he says he's just messing.
He's just messing.
Let's not get it
He's
twisted.
just joking.
Yeah, I
He's
don't
just,
know, man.
And then he said, Josh B says your options with the Yankees is the opposite with the Jets.
It is.
And what does Jay say?
Jay
no
says,
no capes, Brian? That's in the past. They distract from not. I don't understand.
No capes, like from The Incredibles, the reference to The Incredibles.
Well, it always has to go back to a movie.
That's
I mean,
in the
this isn't
past.
screen time.
They distract from the now.
Like, is he trying to say that all of the failure from Zach Wilson is distracting from the way he played last night? That's the only thing I can think of.
I don't know,
He's saying
dude.
Incredibles.
Incredibles,
Incredibles.
yes.
Great movie.
Great movie. Great reference. But Jay Bird, maybe wearing his shades early this morning.
Very true. Very good there. I heard they got some, stuff in close proximity to him in New Jersey.
Oh, I bet.
And
dude,
at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
Watch movies.
And your mother says, I think they had a chance with Rodgers. Yes, they had a very good chance with Rodgers because that's the type of guy that we're waiting to have that could just make any throw. You're down 20 points at halftime against the Bears. You go on to win the game with a sprained ankle. Yeah. That's what we need.
Right.
And we haven't got to see it. And I have to ask the question. I mean, in these 31 years, I don't know if we've ever even thought we had somebody for whatever reason. That's been the Jet organization mindset to not try to have the top guy in that position. I mean, think back to Vinny Testaverde, Chad Pennington, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Mark Sanchez, Sam Darnold. I mean, none of those guys, Kenny O'Brien, none of those guys were at the up. Boomer Esiason. It seems like it's the same narrative where we drafted somebody too high who wasn't good enough, or we brought in somebody that was too old. How does that keep happening?
Poor ownership.
Yeah, bad drafts.
Bad management.
Yeah.
That's what that boils
and
down
what do
to,
you guys think? So let's just say hypothetically, we win 4 or 5 games this year. Because of the fact that Rodgers is comfortable with the coach, the coaching staff, the general manager, is everybody safe?
Yeah, I think so.
Despite a really poor season.
I think everybody's safe, dude, because like I said, I mean, obviously you went all in with Aaron Rodgers. Rightfully so, though. I mean, that was your move. Everyone was
the mistake obviously was the O-line, but getting Rodgers was
not the mistake.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone was all in for that.
Right.
Everyone,
yes.
Injuries, unfortunate. Shit happens. I think everyone's safe after this year, even Zach Wilson, because the whole plan with Wilson was to have him work under Aaron Rodgers. He has not done that yet. Whatever they see in Zach Wilson, like a performance like last night, they believe with Rodgers' tutelage, he can consistently put that out there, I guess, in a couple of years. So I think at the end of the year, no matter what happens, everybody's safe.
Yeah, buddy. Hackett and Rodgers are buddy.
Yeah, they brought in Hackett for Rodgers.
Yeah, so he's staying. Salah's gonna stay.
If Rodgers staying, everyone is staying.
I think the coaching staff is.
And do you think it's one of those things where potentially that being true, it's great for us for at the most the next 2 seasons, but long term, especially if we don't get the job done, it may set us back further?
Well, long term, Aaron Rodgers is 40 years old, so he only is giving you 2 years. So, I think you definitely need a plan in place after he leaves, because I kind of agree with you there. If he leaves and you just bring Zach right back, and it's like the same thing again. Say you even win a Super Bowl in those 2 years that Rodgers is there, and then you bring Zach back and he's the same thing. It's like, what are we doing? So I think you maybe draft a quarterback under Aaron Rodgers to stay under him, not Caleb Williams. Just there's other good quarterbacks in this draft if you're going to go that route. But I think you need to prepare for the future while also being in the present.
I just kind of think so. Let's say they're kind of in the middle. You could get somebody like Drake May.
Yeah.
I think Rodgers is going to stand in the way of that. I don't think he's going to allow them to take a quarterback high in the draft this year because he wants Zach. That's his project. That's his project. So I guess my question I was asking is yes, because it's Rodgers, he can work with Saleh and Douglas, who I don't think are the upper echelon head coach, general manager combinations. But I guess my question was, after Rodgers leaves, I mean, are those two in it for the long run? I mean, is there a situation where we could see them long term, in 10 years, still being the head coach and general manager of the New York Jets?
I find that hard to believe,
because I kind of am worried
10
that
years,
once Rodgers walks out the door, boom, everything just.
I mean, again, like Riley's saying, you brought in Rodgers to win a Super Bowl and then retire. That is what Rodgers is going to do, dude. Maybe he'll try and give you some more years afterwards, but it's that he's not a long-term quarterback. He's just not.
Right.
So it's up to the Jets management. It's up to their front office. It's up to their ownership to have something in place for when Rodgers inevitably retires within the next couple of years. It seems like that they're betting on Zach Wilson for that. So, I mean, if they bet wrongly, then it will set back the Jets organization considerably, because you have a lot of young talent surrounding Zach Wilson, surrounding Aaron Rodgers right now, but on both sides of the ball. that you're probably going to plan on having on the team for a while. But if Rodgers retires and you bring in Wilson, it's a shit show season. You're going to have people requesting trades. You need to bring in a new quarterback. You have to reset your entire roster at that point, including your coaching staff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's my one concern. And I feel like overall, Joe Douglas, he's done, a lot more, positive things than Robert Saleh has done. But I would just be concerned that they're not going to be there for the long term, and it's just a holding pattern for Aaron Rodgers. But I mean, talent has definitely been brought in with Joe Douglas. It's just also, though, mistakes have been made. Obviously, Zach being at the precipice of it, but also the offensive line. And I think before last year's draft, they didn't draft that well. It's just the DJ Reed and Jordan Whitehead acquisitions were huge. And then the draft. Sauce and Wilson, I mean, those are generational players. That's for sure. But kind of interesting how Will McDonald hasn't played much this year. Neither is Joe Tipman. So hopefully this draft class hits, but it is important to be strong in those positions. So something to think about moving forward. Obviously, we got to just focus on this season for now. And we do have a Monday Night Football game to close out week 4. Can you believe, Tony, the last game of week 4?
I cannot believe it, dude. It really is crazy.
Unbelievable. New York Giants, same position as the New York Jets, underdogs at home, prime time, needing a win to kind of keep the course of their season. Seattle comes in here 2-1, surprise loss to the Rams week 1, have rebounded the last 2 weeks with wins over Detroit and Carolina. Defense giving up a lot of points, 30 points in the first 2 games, 27 last game. What are your guys' thoughts as Seattle comes in here? 2-point favorites. Geno looking like he's picking up where he left off last season.
Yeah.
The rapport with Metcalf and Lockett. How do you see this one going? Looks like Saquon Barkley, will miss it yet another game. Doubtful for this one.
Dude, I don't think the Giants have it in the bag here tonight. I think the Seahawks come out here. I think, like you said, Geno Smith started to pick up where he was leaving off last season, which was breaking records for the Seahawks organization, by the way. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I think that they definitely show up the Giants defense. I think, at best, Daniel Jones can throw for, I don't know, maybe $180 with a touchdown, maybe with a rushing touchdown too. But I don't know. I think Seahawks end up coming out on top here. Let's say 28-17.
Yeah, I think the only way the Giants win this game is if it's a shootout. Daniel Jones on offense is going to have to be – their offense is going to have to be really good because I think the Seahawks are going to put up points, a lot of points on them. Daniel Jones is going to have to be good. They just came off a loss to the Niners last week. They did have a lot of time to rest. They played the Thursday night game last, so maybe they come out really firing at home. Saquon being out hurts them huge still. I mean, their running back situation is not great. They have so many wide receivers. I think maybe you try to get Hyatt the ball more tonight, try to get some receivers in some open space. But, yeah, I think it's going to be a close one, honestly, because I think that there is a chance that they come out and fire on offense. So I see it high scoring in the 30s, but I think the Seahawks, at the end of the day, win this game.
Yeah, I think this could get ugly quick, as we like to say. Without Saquon, really puts the Giants in a bind.
This could get ugly quick.
And I know Seattle's defense, hasn't played great this year, but I think this is a get right spot. Because you don't have to worry about a ultra talented running back. And I mean, look at
Seattle.
I think they can force some turnovers. I think this is going to be 35-14. And the Giants are going to be sitting here 1-3, very disappointed and not at all where they expected to be. I hope this is good. I hope it's entertaining. Because obviously being a standalone game, that's all we got tonight. But I think Seattle convincingly takes this one. We do have a few more comments here. If we could catch
we
up
got
on
a lot
those.
going on here, dude.
Let's see where to start here.
That's a lot. It's freaking Riley today with the comments, dude.
Yeah, this is the most comments I've ever seen.
Honestly, it's kind of crazy.
Bombarded.
Yeah, you are getting bombarded. It's because they know.
Yeah, I think it's on purpose.
Josh
this was
B, that's a bite.
That
This
was
is
fun.
screen
That was
time.
Very good there. That's definitely true, Josh.
when you were talking about the Jets quarterbacks, he said Chad was the closest, just couldn't make
Chad
all
Pennington.
the
throws the noodle arm, and then he does us dirty by going to Miami, winning the division. When Brady tears the ACL, rest is history.
And then talking about Rodgers, do you think it's possible he could come back?
Not this year. No, next year.
Lonnie says it's the Jets.
Enough said.
Before I said that last night, Tony make it official today. He's a Jets fan sitting next to a Patriots fan. Absolutely disgusting. What is happening here?
Look, I also have the record straight here. All right. I announced my Jet fandom, like weeks before the season started. All right. We went over this. Everyone here's Jets fan. I don't follow football really that much. Just like, hey, all right, I got to be a Jet fan with my boys. All right. And obviously, nothing against Riley being a Pats fan. That's what am I going to do? You want me to kill him? I'll strangle him right now. If you want. Say the word.
It's not like we're good.
Yeah.
Your mom said maybe they can get Mahomes. Lonnie came. Sorry, Mom. Mahomes is locked up out there in Kansas City. They just redid his contract.
Hopeful.
No way they will have the same staff for how many years?
I feel like,
years
I feel like, yeah.
You don't think at any point like Mahomes either in a season-ending injury can't come back or just starts to fizz out?
Mahomes,
Nothing.
I'm telling you, Mahomes will go down as the best quarterback ever by the time his career is over. You just see it. The talent is unbelievable.
Lonnie Anthony is a Giants fan.
I mean, obviously, I do support New York. If the Giants are playing, I'm rooting for the Giants, dude.
New York supporter. And Lonnie does want to see me choked out on camera.
It's kind of weird when you say it like that, Riley.
Yeah, it is really, really odd. Yeah.
Well, I didn't say it.
But you just said that. Like that.
I just said that. I don't know. People have different quirks,
Lonnie thinks it would be good for the show. I mean,
it would be a good clip for Instagram.
Yeah, dude, it'd be great. I'd probably get fired.
Yeah.
Both my jobs, really.
Yeah, maybe. And it's I'm gonna say sweatshirts. That's great. When the Jets made the right decision at quarterback, this gives me no confidence.
Yeah, you're right, Jeff.
I can see it coming soon.
I mean, you definitely do, but it's like I don't know. I mean, what do you guys? I mean, I think the Wilson pick before they made it, that you could see that being questionable because he went to BYU, didn't have the top competition. I think Sam Darnold was not a bad pick.
Yeah.
He played at USC.
He
performed well. You can't blame him there. Mark Sanchez, I mean, the one thing I would say there, and Tony's always been a Pete Carroll guy, is literally right after he declared for the draft, Pete Carroll said he should have stayed in college another year. So you're going to take a quarterback after his college head coach says that?
I know. It's not good, dude.
I don't know.
That's not good at all.
So, I mean, drafting. You're 1 for 3 there, and then you go back further. I mean, we know what the rest is.
What when Zach Wilson was drafted, was he like touted to go like number 1, number 2? Like
Trevor Lawrence was a lock for number 1.
Right. But was he like, were people like, oh, if the Jets don't take him, the next team up would have taken him?
It was just one of those things. They were all jumbled together. Mac Jones, Justin Fields.
Right.
And who was there one other guy?
I don't know.
Trey Lance was the year before, right?
Trey Lance was the year before. Might have been Love or not Love. Well, Mac went late, I think. But he stinks, so.
Because he was further down, but he actually okay. So this was the 2021 drafts.
So this was 2021 draft. Zach Wilson,
number 2 overall, obviously.
Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones.
Oh, so Trey Lance.
Yeah, it was.
Wait,
David Mills. And they were all drafted after. Zach Wilson.
Okay. So. Yeah, obviously Trey Lance was a bust anyway. I mean, I guess Fields is the one guy, and I thought they should have got him, originally. Obviously, it hasn't gone well in Chicago. But really, I mean, I guess there really wasn't a perfect guy out there in the first round. But it's like, how does that always, end up happening when they're in position to pick the guy? Like, none of the guys are good. And Lawrence was the guy. But former head coach Adam Gase winning that game against the Rams. I'll never forget that day. You thought everything worked out. There was still a chance they could still get the number 1 pick, but I mean, it's amazing what could have been with Trevor Lawrence.
I love
that was
Lawrence.
the guy.
I love
you
him.
knew it coming out of school too.
He was always good.
Yeah.
But you know how like when the Giants drafted Jones.
Yep.
like I feel like people weren't pissed off the fact that they took Jones as much as where they took him in the draft.
Mhm.
Like I was asking, like if like the Jets didn't take Wilson,
He was gonna go top 10.
he was going to go top 10 anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, his pro day was insane. Like the hype.
Oh,
around
really?
it.
There was a lot of
There
hype.
was hype, yes,
Okay.
but small school.
Right.
Steve Young, really the only guy to go to BYU and have a lot of success.
Steve Young's the guy.
Yeah. No, I like Steve Young. It's just unfortunate, we're looking at two different things here.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what it is. Your mother asking about Joe Montana as head coach. I don't think I think he wants to just enjoy his life.
Yeah,
at this
I think
point,
so
not to
too,
deal with the
dude.
Jets.
Yeah, definitely not, dude.
Another quarterback that would have been nice to have on our franchise, though.
Yeah, that is for sure, dude.
But that is what it is, I guess. So hopefully we get a competitive game tonight. And then we got baseball starting tomorrow. We'll talk about that tomorrow. And I feel like I already asked you this, Riley, but you said you're not going to tune in to the baseball playoffs.
I'll tune into the games I think are going to be like high drama and stuff. Like I'm not gonna.
High
Actually,
drama.
I think the wild card game's gonna be really good. I think those are some of the best matchups. But obviously, I'll watch the World Series. It just looked like I think we said before, just something about when your team's not in baseball playoffs. It just sucks. It's just like, it just the only way that I could have had any like feeling towards the game is if I put a little money on it, bet on them. But I can't just watch it and just like it just not having the Sox there just stinks.
Yeah, and I feel like honestly, I would be even more upset than I am already if the writing wasn't on the wall a while ago. And I feel like for the last 3-4 weeks, I've been just so set on what this offseason is going to look at. So that's why I'm not like grieving necessarily, but at the same time, no interest at all watching any of these games.
Really?
It's just going to piss me off watching football and seeing the ads for the division and championship series. What about you, Tony?
I'm always hyped to watch baseball, Brian.
So you think you're going to end up watching a good amount of the postseason?
I mean, if I have the opportunity to, absolutely.
Who do you want to win? Not the Braves.
No, I really think the Braves are going to win, dude.
No, but I'm saying like anybody but the Braves. Is that who you want to win?
I really don't want the Braves
Or the
to
Astros.
win.
Yes.
It would be kind of crazy if the Astros win,
I'm so
honestly.
sick.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, I know you guys don't want.
you would really want them to win just because of Dusty?
I love Dusty Baker, dude.
That's crazy, dude.
Honestly, I mean, if Verlander comes out again and wins another World Series, that's fucking nuts.
How about a
dude.
team like the
Not to
O's?
mention, like you gotta admit, the
Yeah.
Astros are really good. I mean, like Alvarez was injured a while. They lost pitchers.
Yeah.
Altuve was injured for a while too. Like it's kind of crazy.
I want to see the Texas Rangers win.
I don't want to see the Rangers win.
Bochy.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that'd
Bochy
be
would be cool. Uvalde.
I like to see Philly go back.
Honestly, if the Diamondbacks just rip through, that'd be kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Because they surprised everyone. Started the season, fizzed out hard, but they got some good guys. Christian Walker, Mitch Keller.
Yeah.
Who's the other pitcher?
Oh, no, not
No,
Mitch
Mitch
Keller.
Keller.
Zach Allen?
Zach Allen.
Allen.
Yeah. But it's a shame.
I can see the Dodgers probably taking
Dodgers are good.
it.
Freddie. You'd be wrong.
Freddie
for the
Freeman,
Dodgers.
dude. I would be. Freddie Freeman. He's a sad story, dude. Imagine if it's like Dodgers Braves for the championship series. It'd be kind of crazy.
That'd be a good series.
That would be
That'd
good.
be good.
But I would give the Braves the edge because I think Freeman would get a little
Choked
emotional.
up.
I think
I think so too.
pitching in the
and
playoffs.
I think at that point too, like if you have Max Fried back, Charlie Morton,
Yeah. Uncle Charlie.
yeah,
So
Connecticut's own, dude.
we'll see what happens, right, folks?
Connecticut's own, dude. Yeah.
I'm just more juiced up for the hot stuff, and I know you guys agree with me.
Yeah,
on
the
that,
minute
so.
the minute I feel like baseball's the biggest sport where the minute that the season ends and your team's on the playoffs, it's like off season.
Off
It's
season.
right
Oh,
to the
baby.
off season.
Yeah,
Just-
spring training.
I saw there's a
Oh,
meeting
yeah.
of the minds with Cashman, Hal, and Boone in Tampa this week.
Right? How much drinking are they doing together, dude?
Me and Tony already talked about this yesterday, Riley, but you think a lot gets Boone and Cashman back next year?
Yeah, I do. I think it is. I mean,
You said Judge likes him, right?
Judge likes
Like
Boone.
Boone.
I don't think he likes Cashman.
well, honestly, yeah, I think Boone comes back But also, like, when's Cashman gonna like? He's been here forever. Like, what's the final straw that now they kick him out?
I mean, it shouldn't come down to this, but I'm thinking, and obviously, please, dear God, don't this happen. But if next season is like a completely everything, then that would definitely be it. But until something like that happens, I don't know. At least I think he will finish out the contract unless there's a complete embarrassment. And this season, for our standards, yes, was embarrassing, but I'm talking like 60 wins. Unless that happens before that 3-year contract's up, he's going to see that out. And obviously, winning will ensure a lifetime contract.
I also think like you want your offseason to be like players and building the team. Like for the Sox here, now we have to this offseason, instead of building the team, we have to find a GM. So like, if you don't have to worry about that, I wouldn't worry about it. So I think, he stays on. Boone stays on. I actually love Boone for some reason. I like him, but we'll see. He's been there a while.
Why do you like Boone?
I just like his personality. I like how he gets fired up. I enjoy Aaron Boone.
Yeah, you know what it is? I think it's guilt by association with Boone. Because he's Cashman's puppet or whatever you want to say, I think it's hard for us Yankee fans to have any like towards him.
Well, yeah.
And the thing that's unfortunate is we know the Yankees want to keep Judge happy. He wants Boone, so I think especially because there's 1 year left, maybe next year they'll revisit it if it doesn't go our way. But
he's got 1 year left on his contract.
Yeah, Boone is a lock for this year.
Okay, yeah.
Josh B saying Girardi was better. And it's. I don't know, man. I know the whole clubhouse and all that. People, Bryce Harper, but I honestly do believe, truly in my heart, that Girardi was better.
Lonnie's saying I don't like Cashman. I don't like Hal.
And we would be lucky to have Girardi right now, but I know that won't happen. But yeah, I don't know. You really think I'm crazy with the Girardi stuff, Tony?
I mean, no, I don't think necessarily. I mean, it's tough when the Phillies kind of like the whole team was like, he wasn't good.
Fell short though. And Bryce Harper, I mean, I know they won the 1 year in Washington. But...
I mean, I always thought Bryce Harper was a fucking diva to begin with.
Right. Yeah. So I think that's more of that.
Yeah,
and I think it's more speaks to the softness of the player today. Right. I think that's why Girardi.
I think so too, but I mean, I think it does. I mean, the fact that the whole team was like, we didn't really like playing for Girardi.
But Harper being the leader of the team might have kind of set that up.
Exactly. But still, I mean, I think the fact that the whole team, that says
But then they love a player's manager, Robbie Thompson, first time getting that opportunity.
Make the World Series.
It's never a good look to like fire a coach and then you go to the World Series that same year. So
it's never good.
I mean, something obviously was wrong there.
Yeah. Right. So gonna be a hell of an offseason, fellas. That's for sure. But a great show today. Really appreciate everybody tuning in and continuing to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page. Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jay in costume. Merch at downtimetv.com. Want everybody to enjoy the day. Enjoy Monday Night Football.
Let's go, Mets.
And we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.